So first things first, the Chisquares platform allows you to upload your surveys automatically into the platform. So what I've done is, first of all, I have formatted it, right? So you have the title, everything starts with two signs. And then if it's a question, it's Q for question, Q&A, right? Q for questions, A for answer. So Q for question, answer, answer, question, answer, answer, answer. And then everything ends with three hashtags. All I need to do is just import it into the platform like that. The one question which I did not format was the question on piping. So I left that one out. For those kind of very complex questions, it's best to just type it directly. So this is the question here. You can see it doesn't have formatting. If you don't format it, the platform will leave it out. So you don't have to even delete it. You can just leave it unformatted, and the platform will just know that, okay, you don't want to import that question. Maybe you want to, create it manually. All right, now, so let's import this question and let's create it, and let's see how you could use the features on the platform to collect your open-ended survey in a way that is very personalized. So it's not as if you're just using one Google form to send the exact same survey to everybody who are going to give you exact same responses. All right, so let me go over to my survey page and let's create a new survey quickly. Let me start a new survey. Let's get started. The title of our survey, Research Usage Questionnaire. Let's say this is Ghana. You can generate the aims by yourself, or you can have AI to generate them for you. I'm using AI this time around. So let's just grab one or two aims. All right, let's just clear the remaining ones. Keywords, let's say statistical software, and let's just go ahead and create a new project. The goal is just to see how do you create smart surveys where you keep your participants really engaged. Let's keep that. So let me just upload my question, import from Word, choose a file. So it's been imported. We're planning to have a workshop on AI and research ethics. Please select what date and time works for you. So let's go to settings. This is date and time combined question. So, and sometimes you want to set limits. You don't want people to just set, even though it's open-ended, you don't want them to select 2026, right? So let's set limit for our date. Let's say the start date you can select is today, and the end date you can select is, let's say, July 22, So you are forcing them to select within those boundaries. You can also set limits for time, but let's just leave that open-ended for now. So that's date and time question. So there's one question we left out. So let's create it. That was the piping question. So a piping question allows you to funnel responses from one part of a questionnaire to the other. So let's click to apply. Then the question was this one here. Great choice. How long have you been using this? So we'll copy that and we'll just put that here. A pipe question, has two parts. There is a part before the pipe. So see here, enter initial part of a question here. So here, it should be, all you need to enter is this part here. Great choice. How long have you been using? The answer is coming from another question, remember? So we have to choose the question where that answer is coming from here. But let's first of all label this question as how long. Let's select the question that is supplying the answer. And it is this question here. Which statistical software do you primarily use? So let's select that. So these are the answers they provide. Now, a pipe has two parts right there. Part of the stem before the pipe and the part after the pipe. So for the part after the pipe is everything after answer, right? So we'll cut that. And that's why it says here, type the ending part of the stem here. And you might want different endings for different questions. That is completely up to you. But here we want the same ending for all of them. So we'll just select that. So all of them have this exact same ending. So that's a piping question. So the part before the pipe, the part after the pipe, and this is where the answers are going to come from, right? Let's select the time since they're typing an answer, which is a single value text. And let's allow only numbers so that people don't type nonsense there. Let's provide units of measurements as days, weeks, months, or years. And let's minimum, minimum is 0. Let's so that people don't give us negative numbers. And let's apply that. So if we preview this question, it's like, how long have you been using SPSS in your research? So whatever answer is supplied, to provide a value, type the answer, the unit. So we're fine with that question. Let's push the questionnaire. The next question we want to create was, remember the survey was very specialized such that we created a very personalized experience depending on whether they use Python and we're in machine learning or, so we have to create that's intelligence in the survey. And one good question you can use for that is called the A/B test question. So we'll come here, you come to allocation question and you select A/B test. The A/B test allows you to add many variants to that particular survey question. So select that. So you can add as many variants so that it's channeling people to different variants based on what you want them to, where you want them to go, right? So you can think of it as a variant question. So we can to add variants, we can either create new variants or we can import questions that exist in our questionnaire. We already imported the question, so let's go and let's import the questions that we need to route people. So the questions where this is the guy who used Python but has never used machine learning. This is the guy who uses Python and is machine learning. This is the guy who doesn't use Python and is machine learning. And this is the guy who does not use Python and is not in machine learning. So these are the default variants we have for our question. So we'll save them. This is variant 1, variant 2, variant 3, variant 4. 4 different questions for 4 different groups of people, right? So we're going to channel them based on how we want them to answer the question, right? So let's mark this question as resolved. And let's update it. So now we have our questionnaire all set. Let's see the final order of the questions. Okay, this looks fine. We're planning to have a workshop. Let's move this up. Okay, great. So we first ask them whether they've used any software. We then ask them which software they use. And then we ask them how long they've been using it. And then so this looks to be in the correct order. All right, so we apply. So we've ordered our survey appropriately. Now we can go ahead and set up our logic. For people who said the first question, those who said they've never done any analysis, we're going to kick them out of our survey. So that will be our exclusion criteria. We're going to first of all include inclusion criteria. You must have used some software. Have you used any statistical software in your research? You must say, yes, I have, for you to be included in the survey. So include participants if this question is exactly equal to yes. If they say, I don't do research, then why are you asking them questions about research? If they say, no, I haven't used software, why are you asking them questions about software? So include participants if this is exactly equal to this. So let's submit that. So let's save and include. That's fine. All right, so we have set our inclusion criteria, which is the first part. So include participants if what that question is exactly equal to yes, I have, then they're included. The next part of making our survey smart is to ensure that the flow for the individuals based on where they've used the Python users. So remember this part here. So we've done this part. The part we now have to do is for these different people, Python users who have never used machine, who have never done this. So let's set up that logic. We'll go to skip patterns. And we'll set up skip patterns. So we'll say the skip pattern is based on 2 things, right? The software they use and whether they've ever participated in machine learning. So we're saying if this question, if you use Python, if this is exactly equal to Python, and they say, yes, I've been involved in machine learning, then we'll go to the A/B test question we have, which has 4 variants. I'll select we select this question. It is always exciting to see Python programmers who are into machine learning. That's the question that they have to answer. And we are going to submit that one. Yes, we'll proceed. So we've added that one. Next, we add the logic for the other folks, right? Add new skip patterns. Again, based on the same conditions. Let's say not equal to Python. And yes, I've not used Python, but I've involved. Let's go to this, open this up. I notice that you don't use Python, but you're into machine learning. Submit that. The idea is that you use that to be able to funnel people into different routes. So it's something you want to pay a lot of attention to, obviously, because you don't want to end up collecting wrong data from your participants. So before you launch a survey with that kind of logic, you want to really make sure that you sit down and set it up properly. But that's how you, in a nutshell, right? You set up, your survey. Now let's take a preview of that logic and see how, for that particular use case, that guy that uses Python that was set up, let's see how the survey experience will be for them, right? So we'll start the survey on the preview mode. Okay. So again, if they don't do research, then they should be routed to the end of the survey and say you do not qualify as we've specified, right? If they do research, then they should continue. So let's look at the route for the guy who does research based on what was specified. So they go to screening, say, yes, I do research. In this case, they should continue with the survey. So yes, continue to qualify. First things first, which statistical software do you use in your research? Let's use Python. Next. Now, great choice. How long have you been using? See, the intelligence is here. Python software in your research. Again, this is piping. The platform pipes in the answer you selected earlier into the response so that it's dynamic. So I'll select the value. So I've been using it for, let's say, 12 years, and I'll say years, and then I can continue. So let's dive deeper. During this period, what have you found most appealing with this software? I can select all the things that I find appealing about it, right? Now, switching gears, have you ever participated in a project that involved machine learning? Yes, I have. Now you see it's routing me into this question. It is always exciting to see Python programmers who are into machine learning. If I might ask, what was the single most important factor that made you go into this field? I can say, for example, career opportunities, right? I go next. It doesn't ask me the other variants that, oh, you have never programmed, or no, because it's specific to me, right? So once I sort out my logic, then it will also sort out to also route the individuals who meet that criteria into the places they should go. Then we're planning to have a workshop on AI and research ethics in the next 2 months. Select which day and time works for you. So remember, we said we block the dates, right? So that you cannot select forever and ever. It's only constrained within the choices that I have allowed. So it's open-ended, but it's open-ended with a cap. So I can say, okay, I want on June 12th, for example, and let's do it at 1:15 p.m. That's the time that works for me. And my time zone is, El Salvador time or whatever. I can then go on here and then I type in whatever that I want to, get. I think AI is perfect. That should. Okay, so I type in my perceptions, right? And I submit my survey, right? So that way, if you go back to the original questionnaire we're trying to create, you see that you end up collecting a lot of open-ended questions, but in a way that is smart, so that only people who are, of course, if you've not done research, then you don't even get to answer the question. But then the rest of the survey is also built very specially for people based on their experiences. And the survey is very engaging. They feel as if you're talking to them. because you've used a lot of smart logic in your survey. So that is that's how you can use open-ended questions and survey logic in a way to really improve the quality of the data you collect.
If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. Click the bell icon to turn on notifications. Got questions or suggestions? Drop them in the comments below, and remember to share this video with your friends and colleagues who might find it useful. Chisquares, democratizing knowledge.